Good evening.
Good evening.
Very good evening, Vidya. Shall we start
Just
with
now
your
starting,
presentation
ma'am?
first? Yeah, just now starting.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm in mobile. I will just log into laptop and then I'll disconnect this mobile one, ma'am. Till that, let it be in this one.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
You are ready with presentation, Vidya?
Yes, ma'am. It is in my laptop. So I will
Okay.
connect my laptop on the chair, ma'am.
Sure.
Please
Sure. Is it taking time? You need some help, Vidya?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, my network is not connecting. That's why I'm trying, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, ma'am.
No problem. Yeah. See, the only problem is 8:25, 8:30. There is another class starting. So we
Okay,
have
ma'am.
this thing only with 8:25. Yeah, we have to
Okay, ma'am.
finish the
Okay, ma'am.
class.
Or you can start, ma'am. Saturday I will present, ma'am. If you want
Sure.
to, no
Yeah,
problem,
that
ma'am.
can be
Saturday.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, you start class, ma'am. Because the
Okay.
time is very less. You start, ma'am.
Sure.
Saturday I will
Okay.
present.
All right. So let's start with this. Right. So again, the topic is very interactive. You have to participate, and that's where the fun actually comes in, particularly for this one. So a lot of time, what happens in any form of coaching, whether it is life coaching, yoga, sports coaching, and all, a question is always raised on how ethical or how really valued or with high integrity the coaches are, because there are so many case studies which are available, there are so many court cases which are there, which actually questions whether the person who is becoming a coach has that kind of an integrity or honesty to become a good coach and mentor to somebody, right? So we have to work in a very gray area where we have been always talking about whether to do these things or not. So many questions comes raised on us, so many questions comes on us also on a day-to-day basis whenever you are taking or conducting a life coaching session with any of your client. So in general, what do you understand by the term ethics, if we talk about in general terms? What do you think, what can ethics is?
A disciplined way or a formal way, ma'am.
A disciplined way or formal way of living life, maybe.
Coaching.
Okay, of coaching. Okay. What do you
Ethics
understand,
means
Vidya?
we should obey and we should not
Follow some.
no, we should follow and we should not what say?
You should not complete the
Uh,
sentence.
What misbehavior? We should not misbehavior in
Right.
anywhere, any situation, anywhere we are working. There will be some each and every department. There will be some ethics. It will be differ for school, college, working area.
It's about our behavior, ma'am. In coaching, in giving coaching, we should follow a disciplined way, a formal behavior, and we should not cross our limits.
Correct.
So,
Yes, in coaching also there is some rules and regulation will be there. So we have to follow. If we misbehaves, it will be ethics.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are set of rules you can call them set of principles, guidelines, code
Principle
of
guidelines.
conduct, yeah,
Yes.
anything, you name it,
Code of
any which ways. But ethics ka meaning is something that that we can bring into our profession and ensure that whatever we are doing is doing with authenticity. Authenticity has a lot to do with becoming ethical and being valuable to anyone, right? So when we talk about that, what values your family member has given, what kind of values do we talk about, right? We talk about person's behavior, person's characteristics. So all these things we always take care of, or we keep it in mind when we are commenting on somebody's family values or how the person has been brought up, right? The upbringing and all those things. So similar things are associated with ethics. Ethics generally becomes a set of rules, or you can call it a set of principles. And using these principles, you can actually live your life in a very, very meaningful way instead of just, becoming very unstructured, becoming very, morally not really a very high profile kind of a person, right? So that is what ethics actually bring in. So when we talk about coaching, especially, why we talk about ethics in life coaching or in yoga life coaching in general terms, right?
Because ma'am, because for a person we should not know these are the rules. For example, in yoga life coaching, we should not touch the person. We should not anything. Is there anything means they have to understand as a coach? We should know what are the do's and don'ts.
Correct.
Without that is the that's why it is mentioning that you code of contact. What are the things in coaching we have to follow?
Hmm.
Because it is not necessary for all the peoples to know. So we should learn this, and we have to, as a coach, we have to know this one.
Right.
added
Very
to
true.
that, sorry, yes, ma'am. Shall I proceed?
Yeah, yeah. Please carry on.
Added to that, we should not judge anything about the
Hmm.
other person, ma'am.
Very
We
true.
should have some ethics. That there also the ethics take take a role. Whereas
Hmm.
we should not be judgmental.
Correct.
Also, ma'am, there will be some. We should not discuss their personal to anyone. We
That's
should
what
not.
integrity.
Yes.
Yeah. You're right. So many things correctly, you are aware about that people generally share their so many information that can be misused against them. They share
Yes.
their, secrets which you have to
Yes.
keep with you.
There
You
should
have
be
to
integrity.
create, yeah. So there should be a complete integrity how you are actually using those things, whether for person helping them or against that person. Some cases have come into picture in last few years where people have been asking money to blackmail the people, so that's when the
Ah,
client started facing all these things. Because
yes.
when people are coming to you, as I said, in yoga life coaching also the same thing will happen, which happens in other life coaching and other way of doing it, that you get to know some integral secrets of people's lives, right? Whether it is related to their ingrown problem that they are facing physically, or because you are managing or you are taking care of their problems related to their mental or emotional stuff, right? A lot of things will come into picture, which sometimes you will also feel whether I should be asking more questions related to this, whether it is right to ask more questions and to get more information about this thing, or should I stop myself. So ethic also becoming, getting into that mode where you are also in dilemma, whether to go ahead and ask different kind of questions, diagnose a person more, or have inquiry on these things or not. So there is always a differentiation between what is right and what is important. That will come, right? So what are you going to choose if you will ever face this dilemma related to your ethics?
There is
Will
an
you-
organization, there is a committee will be there, ma'am, if we can complain them.
No, complaint की बात नहीं कर रहे. We are talking about personal thing. So for
Person.
example, somebody has come to you and shared certain things with you, right, about their life, about their family members. Let's just take an example. They shared that they have stress or anxiety because of somebody in the family, right? So now they have shared this much information, and you know that it is a right thing that you should ask about who is that person and in what ways they are bringing differentiation, I mean different problems in your life. So there is always a demarcation which comes in, or there is thought which actually comes in our mind, that is it right to ask more questions, or is it really important for me to ask these questions for the solutions to happen? So
Actually,
what are you
if we,
going to do if you ever find these choices? Yeah.
ma'am, if we got the solution, if the for yoga related, they have mental stress, so we need to come out of from that. Means if we get their answer is enough, means we should stop. We should no, we should not go beyond that. If the solution is correct, means okay, but we should
Right.
not go beyond that. How much you have a relation, that we should not go deeply with them. If we
Yeah.
basically know what are the basic things, this is the means what we have can do, like that only. We should not go their personal road, too deep personal.
Right.
According to my perspective, this you can ask questions, but it's not necessary that who's that person and all that kind of questions. Not necessary, but more understanding question, like when happens, at what time it happens, how did you respond, why did this happen, what did the opposite the other person to tell you. So we can poke more questions, but not necessary that who's that doing this and all. It's not necessary. That's what I suppose.
Okay. What is your opinion, Dhanvantari ma'am? Are you here in the class, or it's just a proxy? Yeah, sometimes we used to do that in colleges.
Ma'am,
Even
Online
one
now,
more
ma'am.
thing, ma'am,
online
if
classes
they,
are very difficult for a
Yes.
proxy.
ma'am, one more doubt I have. If
Yes.
they are willing to tell all, means will be allow, ma'am.
Hmm. Yes, there's most of the time you are alone. All these things that you are handling should be always in secrecy, in confidentiality, right? Just ensure that everything that they are sharing should be recorded properly, right?
Okay.
Date wise. So you have a record that date wise the client during this particular session shared these informations, so that in case the client wants to use something against you in future, you have all the
Yes,
records
ma'am.
and everything properly, right?
Yes.
So it can actually happen both ways.
Both
Sometimes the
way.
client might do, sometimes the coaches are unethical. So both the things can also happen,
Yes.
right?
Correct.
That is why it is very important to find out, and take some time before accepting any such clients for your life, right? All right. So what are ethics basically? When we talk about coaching, these are the things that comes into the mind, that coaches, they use an array of titles, different kind of titles you can use. You can sometimes be becoming a consultant, a facilitator. Some people might call you mentors, right? But it doesn't mean that your actions are changing. As a coach, what your action are, what your role is, that's what you are helping people in becoming a transformer in their lives, right? So bringing that transformation from what they were to from what they want to be. Second point comes into is that personal nature of most coaching relationship is the ethical code provides the framework. It's very important, right? Because many people who are not part of any coaching certification, right? For example, ICC is a coaching platform, so they provide international certification on coaching, right? That's one body. But again, there are many well-known coaches who have never taken any certification, but they are very popular and they are doing very good work. But what happens is, because they do not belong to a body, they are not affiliated to something, so they don't have a set of rules that they should follow. So every coach should create their own ethical code of conduct. That this is how. Some people I have seen that they have everything printed also. In our yoga studio also, we have everything printed at what are the things the clients are not supposed to do in the studio itself. So that's only for yoga and meditation. But you can clearly create a very beautiful ethics of course, create a poster, write all those things, points very clearly, so that the client, whosoever is coming to you, and it's a reminder to yourself also. Sometimes our mind goes into a different way. When you are in the flow of talks, when you are in the flow of communication, sometimes we don't even realize what we are talking. So this particular poster or this board can help you find out where the boundaries has to be created, right? So this is basically about that ethical code of conduct has to be there, and if it is there in a written format, it will help you becoming a framework for your coaching sessions, right? Now, what are the major principles or ethics that really helps coaches are? So number one is integrity, like what we have been talking about. You have shared so many examples also. So coaches will represent themselves in an honest and fair manner. It's very important. So integrity is just not about being honest, it's also about being fair, that you are treating everybody as equal. There is an equity and equality which is being followed. There is no discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, and whatever things which are there, right? So becoming fair and having no biases or prejudices takes time, because how our upbringing has happened over so many years, and removing all those things from our mind takes a lot of time. Right? So that is the reason why we always say that first practice on yourself and see how judgmental you are becoming in any session, and then start removing. Once you become aware that you are becoming judgmental or you have such stereotypes in your mind, and these stereotypes are actually coming and hampering your coaching session, so what you can do is become aware, accept that there is a problem in us, and then start removing it. So once we become aware and we accept this problem that we have, then we start removing and we can work on it. So slowly, by practice, every time you can actually remove all those biases. Now these biases can be very small, which can become high in problem in getting unfairness to people. Small, like sometimes kale gure mein hi ho jata hai, somebody is fair, somebody is dark. Some people start feeling he ugly hai, so we don't want to talk to that person. हाइट का हो जाता है, फैट नॉन फैट का हो जाता है, स्लिम एंड फैट के बारे में. सो योगा में तो बहुत सारे हो जाते हैं, राइट? दिस पर्सन इज डिसेबल, कैसे करेगा? वो अनबायस्ड है
Some
एकदम
aversion
से,
towards the people.
right? And this comes automatically because we are not trained how to behave with people properly in a different manner or different setups. अब LGBTQ के लोग हैं, if they come for your classes, what kind of mindset we will have? If somebody is a transgender or somebody is a gay or lesbian, how does it matter to us? If they have come to us, they are just clients, right? But somehow, because we have never worked with them, we have never seen them in our classrooms, work very closely with them, so those biases will come, and it is very natural for those biases to come. But over a period of time, as a coach, it is very important that we start removing these stereotypes slowly, right? Which will help us becoming very much a better person as a human being also, and then obviously a better coach. So second point इसका कहता है integrity का, that coaching strive to be aware of their own belief system. Right? हमारे personal belief system, if will start coming in coaching, it will create a problem. Why? Because our personal belief system can be related to our religion also. Not everybody who will come to you will be from your religion. Right? Yoga is a very natural flow of people from Christianity, people who are Muslims, people who are from different backgrounds totally. They also come and join classes in yoga, and they will share their problems. They will come and fall into those things. But if you, as a coach, are not out of your personal belief system about personal some religion, or you are really biased about some religion, it might affect your relationship, as well as you're not really working towards your profession in a high integrity. Right? You have to become like an organization. How organizations work? They really embrace everybody whosoever comes in, and purely on their skills and merits they give them a chance. Right? So similar things you as a coach has to do. Whosoever is coming, go for their problems, whether you can help them in their problems, you can, really give them a solution, and then start treating them as a equal partners.
So every time when we go, we have to go like a clean slate.
Absolutely. And for becoming clean set is more easier to say than done, right? So it takes time. Because somewhere or the other, I have seen in my personal things that biases initially आते ही हैं, then slowly we'll have to work on you to remove those things. Then second आता है आपका professional responsibility. So now what is the professional responsibility of a coach?
Mm. This is what Vijaya told, I think, in the beginning, that they will be having some roles and not roles and responsibilities, but some responsibilities as based on that profession. So that responsibility they have to honor and act according to that.
Correct. So then you have to see and analyze how various coaches work. Right? See their work on YouTube, understand, maybe go and attend some sessions. There are many conferences also which happens online and offline both. So try and attend those things and understand what are the professional responsibilities of a coach. How you have to actually take part into all these things. So we have tried during over a period of these 2 months to make you understand, but again 2 months is a very less period of time to become and practice becoming a coach. Theoretically it's very easy, but how you have to practice, it takes huge amount of time to get into the practice of doing real life coaching cases, handling those people, what are the things that I'm supposed to do or not. So by watching certain videos or by watching people in action can help you attain that
Please give us some
responsibility.
links of good links of some videos.
I'll send you some good YouTube videos, one or two good people that I know, I have seen their videos, right? And you can always watch their videos.
Yeah.
Then आता है आपका third is respect for people's right and dignity. So it's very important that you treat everybody with dignity and respect. There is a mutual respect which has to follow the entire sessions, no matter what, beginning day one, and it should always remain the same way even after the person has stopped taking. Right? If possible, generally you can get an agreement signed between you and the client on paper. It's always a good practice that there are certain rules that you can mention in those things so that they also would not misuse it after the session is over. Right now, these kind of rights and things which comes into the places we have already spoken about. So cultural background biases are there are cultural differences, and then very important thing is about maintaining autonomy, privacy and confidentiality. Right, lots of secrets are shared, and once you become, and sometimes you become, there is a baggage on you all the time that so many people have shared that thing, and you feel like sharing it with a family member or somebody, but it's always good. That is the reason why generally what happens is there is a record which is kept, so that all your secrets are written down about you and the thing, and this thing, it's up to the coach how to maintain the confidentiality of that particular record. Right? Some countries have very strict rules for maintaining records. I don't think India has that kind of a thing. Then our next point is harassment. So harassment, there is one which is about behavior harassment, that you are not becoming demeaning, you're not becoming abusive. Some people go into
Not
uh,
yelling,
sorry.
not yelling at
Yeah,
them.
abusive and yelling, correct. So people generally start screaming and shouting on each other and start demeaning people, thinking that they are much more better human beings than the other party, right? Which should never be the case. Most of the successful coaches are those people who bring a lot of humility into the entire session, right? So you have to be very grounded, very polite, and always firm, yet bringing that what do you call it, a good amount of collaboration with the clients. So that's very
Understanding.
important, right? Another point in harassment is also about sexual harassment. So sexual harassment things also happens with coach and client, especially if there are people who are from two different uh, sexual orientation, right? So if a male member comes, there are chances that they might get attracted to you. Right? So you have to keep a very, very clear boundaries. that how you have to not fall into. Some people fall in love with each other, but it's always said that, for psychotherapists, for psychologists, for therapists, counselors, it is always said that don't fall in love with the client till the time they are taking help from you. After that, after the sessions are over, after they have becoming what they want to become, then you can have that kind of feelings or emotions. But before that, it might disturb the entire process. You become biased automatically, right? The healing process then stops completely. So that will happen. And a lot of people, otherwise, also, even if you're not falling in love, attraction happens because you're helping people out. So just because you are showing care and concern, people might get into, especially in India, it is bound to happen. So many male members will come and tell you that they have fallen in love with you, they have started liking you, and it's a case, it is a very natural thing. How you have to handle that very maturely and professionally is what you have to keep the boundaries in. Third point is where you have sexual harassment. So sexual harassment also happens. So that you have to be very, very aware about that how many things and what the things you're talking about with the client. If you know while exchanging certain things, certain situations, you get to know that things are going not the things are not in your hand to control. So it's better that you don't go and talk about that particular topic again with that person. Try and bring in more people into the room then. Then आता है आपका next unfair discrimination. So unfair discrimination is basis. It can be anything, right? The discrimination
The example
can
you
happen
said, ma'am, like gay
Yeah.
or that a caste discrimination, anything.
Yeah, it can happen in any format. So many things can happen in discrimination. So it's better not to have that kind of a thing. Then other misuse of coaches' influence. Now this is also a very important point, right? So because you get to know so much things about people's lives, right? About their personal, their financial, their social status, which organizations they are working, which political parties they follow, different kind of things. So you get to know people in details, in deeper sense. What happens is some people start using these informations to have an influence on their lives, right? Because already people have started treating you as somebody who is very important in their life, and they start sharing that information. So some people try and loot them for financial basis also. Some find out some ways to use them for their social status. So different kind of things. So it's always very important that you keep a very demarcated line between where you have to use the influence and which line you are not crossing in using the influence of your clients. Right? If somebody offers you that help, that because I like your session, I might bring in more clients for you, that's okay. Right? But if you are blackmailing somebody indirectly, that I have given you so much of benefit, now
Get
bring
me
me 5
clients.
more people, yeah, and maybe give me more financial help or bring in your social status to me, your social connection, open it to me. So don't really do that. Yep. Next are the records and information management. As I said, India, we don't have that much of rules and regulations outside of institutions. If you're working in institution and organization, then you have a very clear cut rules about this. But otherwise, if you're working as a standalone coach, I don't think it's such there. Any such things related to policies or act is there. But still, it's very important to maintain, disseminate, store, retain, and dispose all the records and data relating to your practice. Right? Anybody can come, any government official can come any day and find out and can talk to you about what kind of things you are running, what are the things that they want to set up. They want to see your paperwork and everything. So just clearly maintain all the data work in a proper manner, and so that you are also aware about the compliances which are really important for the coach, and you are also taking care of the practice that you're doing. Generally, for running yoga studio, you don't need much. Okay, so that's all. I think this is the only thing which is there. Other than that, what comes to your mind in terms of life coaching, ethics? What other things that you can fit into these ethical principles?
Ma'am, after coaching, will the person can talk each other, ma'am, after that problem issue, everything solved also they can.
Yes, yes, absolutely. See, talking is not really a problem, but again, you have to see. Now, there are very smaller things which cannot be called ethics, but then, we have to maintain our own code of conduct. For example, generally, what I do is I really do not allow anybody to call me or message me after 9:30. Even if somebody has messaged me after 9:30, especially the clients, I generally don't respond. Even if see, so I respond early morning next day. That too only after 9 o'clock. So that they become, unless it is very urgent, unless it is something that they are getting suicidal thoughts, then obviously you will have to respond and tell them. But if nothing serious is there, then you can always postpone it for the next day. So the idea is to give them an idea that what are your boundaries, and the coach is not available to them 24/7.
Sure.
Right? So that is one.
Ma'am,
Right? Yeah.
shall we have time, ma'am? Shall I present or?
No, we'll do tomorrow now. I mean on Saturday, because 8:21 हो गया है. 8:25 we have to close the class.
Okay,
Because
okay, no
8:30,
problem. Okay, ma'am.
yeah, sir has another class of digital
Okay, ma'am. Okay,
marketing.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Because if anything I have to change now, okay, Saturday. Okay, no problem, ma'am. Okay, Saturday
Yeah,
we'll do.
yeah.
Saturday
Right.
4:30, ma'am.
Yeah,
Saturday.
Saturday 4:30.
That's what the time, ma'am.
Yeah, Saturday 4:30 to 5:30 is the presentations everybody will have to give, whosoever has not given. And Sunday morning we will have exam.
Okay.
Sunday morning, so we will be asked. It will be like mock. That is mock discussions, ma'am.
No,
So we
there will
have
be
to
a
give you
case
some
study solutions. Yeah, case
Okay.
study I'll share with you on Saturday.
Mhm.
Sunday morning you will present that case study.
Oh, okay, okay.
Ma'am, Saturday 1 hour.
Yeah, 1 hour
Only, ma'am.
only. Yes.
4:30 to 5:30.
1 hour, 4:30 to 5:30.
4:30 to
That
5:30.
time
I
you
think we should have had the
classes,
same.
ma'am. Just
this one,
presentation
ma'am.
only or any classes?
Sorry? Yeah, it's just presentation. Saturdays we will do presentations only. And presentations is mandatory.
Okay,
for
ma'am.
everyone
I
who has
will
done.
be, ma'am.
Yeah. So like, Jyoti ma'am has given,
Ma'am?
Divya has given, and Rakhi has given their presentation. So now Vijaya, Dhanvantari ma'am, Ranjini, 3 are left. So if you won't present on Saturday, it would be difficult for us to give the certification, because that's a part of the test.
Okay. Ma'am, shall I present to do it now? It's that's why because Saturday I don't know. It is in college time. Actually, that is the problem for me. I will try
Saturday,
to join.
if you want to change the time, just check with her now itself, no, so that.
No, then you can present on Sunday morning. That's okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Present on Sunday morning with your case study. You can present the case study. That's
Okay,
not an
ma'am.
issue.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right. So see you on Saturday now. I think we'll have to disconnect the class. It's already 8:23 and 8:25 the time that we have, right? So
Okay.
Saturday 4:30 we'll meet. Yeah.
4:30.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.